What's up, gamers? I'm Hayden Wu, and this is Rep Yourself. What literally got me into PEVs was Costco. Thank you, Kirkland. They had a sale on this crappy Segway scooter. Great learner, great introductory. But I started wanting more from my PEV experience, you know, more torque, more speed, more range, all these things. And I was dancing on my Segway scooter like crazy, like going one-footed, like doing jumps, like doing all these things you're not designed for as a commuter. And I was gonna get an e-bike until my friend, who's not even into Onewheels, sent me a link to Onewheels, and it's oh my god, night and day. I fell in love with all them, you know, their polished marketing, all this stuff. It looks like this product that nothing else is like, that isn't trying to be anything else other than what it is, and it's unapologetic about it. And in a market full of e-skates and electric everythings, they're just motors slapped onto an existing thing that we already know and we love and we've ridden to death. The Onewheel was such a unique and wonderful take on micro-mobility. And I think what made me fall in love with it immediately was the fact that it had an air tire and a center pivot. And so with skateboarding, my brain could never wrap around like, a skateboard doesn't have a mind of its own. So it's just gonna do whatever the laws of physics are gonna do. But this thing has software updates and you can fuck around with it and it's great. Like you can change your settings, you can do all this, you can make it just yours only in the way that the board reacts to your weight distribution and all these other things. And that really drew me in. Something about taking technology and creativity and applying it to an already wonderful existing sport, just merging those two things is just so cool because it adds another layer of creativity, another layer of complexity that it doesn't make board sports better, but it has this new branch and we can do anything with that, right? And obviously through Onewheels, we have a similar technology, if not the same technology, that powers EUCs. Same feeling, just a lot of battery and a lot more torque. But nothing has been able to replace that snowboard, cushy, creamy feeling. Oh God, and it is of a Onewheel. And let me tell you, it is very frustrating that nobody even comes close to the algorithm that they have that gives the Onewheel its unique feel. You know, I ride these EUCs all day and the goad feel is real. You know, the goad speed and torque and acceleration is real, but it does not have that special sauce. You know, that time that Onewheel really took to make this product shine, not just in hardware, but in software. PEVs did not play into my lifestyle at all until they entered my life. And then I could not stop riding every single day right after I purchased my first scooter over there. And now I have all these things and I can't plan trips unless I know that there's gonna be one waiting for me after I get off that plane. Same with like car rides or road trips or camping or, you know, going to other countries. I cannot go to a country unless it is legal to ride my thing and there's gonna be one waiting there for me. PEVs, and more specifically the Onewheel, it really unlocked my own hometown. So I had actually moved back to San Francisco and I was like, not really feeling it very much. I was like, this is home. I grew up here, but I've been gone for so long and I kind of already know this place. And once I got a Onewheel and I was going up all these hills and I was going on these solo trips and I was taking long lunch breaks and I was exploring the city, I was running this battery dry like freaking 3 times a day. Like hyperchargers weren't enough, you know? And I was lucky enough to fall in love with my home for the first time. I know, San Francisco, wow, it's so cool. It's like, it's a big city. Like people love this place. People come tour, you know, just to see this city. And I did not appreciate it at all. I did not appreciate this place whatsoever until this thing entered my life. And the fact that I don't have to drive my car anywhere, the A to B is more fun than, you know, even getting to the destination. Sometimes I would just tell my, you know, family or my girlfriend or whatever, I'm gonna go do a thing and I'm gonna go grab, you know, some groceries. I'll grab some bag of chips, and I would just be gone for like 6 hours straight. Like 6 hours, just not communicating with anyone, turning everything off, and just riding all the way until sundown, and then just whipping a flashlight out. And then it led to all these other things. Like I found myself in the flashlight market. I found myself in like the safety gear market. Like I have like a million helmets now. I have all these clothes. One of the other things I totally didn't, like I didn't care about electricity at all. I didn't care about like tools or hardware stuff, or like having a tool bench or how to change a tire, you know? And I'm the kind of person who just tries to find somebody who's really good at a thing so that they can do it, you know? I'm not gonna try to learn. I'm gonna do what I wanna learn over here, and you do what you're experienced at. But it wasn't fast enough, like to get support to like, you know, change my tire or like do these other things. So I had to learn how to do all these things with, you know, by myself. But then also what changed everything was joining the Float Pack. It started with just a handful of us, but it's grown into a massive collective that we meet every single Friday that we can. And we have this thing where we do a group ride, but it's not just a group ride, it's a moving rave. It's just a social gathering where it's not about speed, it's not about, you know, doing tricks, it's not about pushing this sport in any competitive way that you can imagine. It's actually the opposite. It's about pushing this vibe and being super inclusive and, you know, celebrating our charge breaks. I gotta say, I ride EUC, and there's a lot of, you know, underhanded jokes that get thrown around about like, oh, we gotta charge your Onewheel because it was just like, but the Float Pack turned every single charge stop into a massive dance party. And we'd make beer runs, and we'd like be on all kinds of stuff, and there's all these lights, and all the speakers are networked and connected, so they're all synced up. We have a Shepherd program now where people are on radios and they're making sure all the other riders are safe. Our EUC riders actually go up and down and have lights to block off intersections, and then they gun it all the way to the front to do it all over again. We have medical people, we have leaders, we have community managers, which is what I do. And it's just been so cool to see, to be part of this sort of decentralized collective group. Like we don't even actually have merch. Like we don't really hustle. We don't make money. We actively try not to make money because we're just here as this like service for this larger community. And it's just really cool to see the impact that Float Pack has on other group rides now. Every time we go down, it's like, oh, it's the Float Pack. Oh man, they got the spear. Oh, whoa, they got the lights. They got the, you know, it's, we enjoy pushing the vibe more than particularly the sport, but we would not do it. None of us would be doing it if it's not for this thing. Because I think one of the other really fascinating things about the Onewheel is that it attracted a lot of attention from people who had never ridden a board ever, or never really even did sports. It unlocked the everyday person to pick this up and try it, and there's even like tutorial modes. And so the Float Pack isn't just a collection of like skater guys and, you know, motorcycle people, or like people who like hardcore sports, or people who like flight suit stuff. You know, we have all those people, but then we also have like tech job guy or art person or like accountant. You know, it's like you get all these wonderful people from all these different facets of life that felt uncomfortable with sports before, and now they have a gateway, you know? And that gateway can let you get into all this other stuff. But what they don't tell you is that nothing can replace that one. Even though my life right now is about riding these things as a job, I am a professional rider with Alien Rides. We do collabs with TheFloatLife and obviously, you know, my group and my family, the Float Pack. But before PEVs, and actually still now, I art direct for video games. I used to work for a company called Rockstar Games. We make Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead 2 is my baby. I also work, and I guess I also helped found a startup called Topia, which is an online metaverse platform where you can make anything you want and be super creative and, you know, make your own little world. It's super fun. And I draw comics. I, you know, used to make music a little on the side. I did a little bit of photography. I did freelance concept art. I still consult for indies and AAAs. I'm kind of all over the place. And it's crazy how much of a pivot PEVs were in my career. I'd never really considered myself a super athletic, outdoorsy person, like mentioned earlier. So I never really gave it any thought, but I kind of rode these things so much and had so much fun that eventually it just, like if we're talking hours, I was riding 40 miles a day. I was riding 40 miles a day, and it did not matter what it was. That's just what was gonna happen. When I woke up, I would wake up, and I still do. I wake up and I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna take the day off. My legs, I need to stretch a little. I'm kind of tired, I'm a little sore. And then I have my one coffee and I'm like, oh, okay, but we need to get groceries. Or I'm like, oh, okay, but we need, you know, actually any excuse, pin drop. If I needed to buy a one card for somebody for a birthday, I'd be like, oh, I gotta take the wheels. Gotta take the wheels. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna drive my whole car just for that? No. And then I'd be gone for 4 hours. So it turns out that my career doing art direction and concept art and all these things for video games and film and animation and all this random stuff, it actually ended up being super, super useful for PEVs. One of the problems we have is our community is still technically very niche. Whether it's Onewheel, EUC, e-scooter, all these wonderful, you know, electric vehicles, it's still pretty niche. And you know, Victor, my business partner, and I were trying to figure out a way we could share our love for these devices for no other reason rather than just inspiring people in the same way that we got inspired and try to communicate the feeling of riding these things, you know, because words weren't doing it justice. You go to a party and you say you ride a one-wheel or an electric unicycle, people just make this like really quick assumption of what that means, and then they sort of like move on. But if you can show them, if you can distill it down into its like purest form and make it as digestible as you can, and so when you hand it to them on this platter, just like this quick like 10-second little platter, this is what it is. It just lights up someone's eyes, you know, and you start to see like, oh, they come up with all the possibilities in their head, like, wait, how do you turn? Wait, what happens if you this? Wait, how does it even stop? How does it go? You know, and that's the questions you want to hear. Those are the questions you want to answer too. And it was really fun to use, at least for me, my own skill sets in art direction and film and all this stuff, and bring it to this thing that we love so much. You know, I never thought in a million years I'd be doing that. I had always thought I would just be making video games till the day I died. And this feels like a video game. Writing this feels unreal. And oh man, I actually cannot imagine life had I continued down just that solitary path. Wow, thanks for watching. Look at this sick, nasty subscribe button to TheFloatLife. Oh, and there's a video over here too. What? And in the description is a link to our Instagram with our content? How did you fit all this stuff in here at the same time? What are you supposed to click? There's too much.
Perfect. Cool. We're done. That's a thing, man.
Oh, man.